Welcome to part 1.2 of our video series about the programming system test.con 6 Studio. In this complementary video, I will explain the main differences about edit and run mode. I will also introduce the terms class or block type. Furthermore, I will explain the meaning of instances of a block. On the screen you can see the programming IDE edit mode. It is easily recognizable as you can see coordinates and the grid on the worksheet. In edit mode, you always work with classes of blocks. The term class comes from the object-oriented programming in informatics. Class describes the construction plan of the object. In this case, those are construction plans of blocks. In the video part 1.1, we have already created the macro myMacro. What you can see here is the block diagram of the macro block. This block diagram is the construction plan to generate such a block. Macro block is always implemented in another level of the program block or another macro block. The programming system creates an instance of an AND block, an OR block, signal lines, and a connection points according to the construction plan of the block myMacro. In a project tree, you can see the macro myMacro block. You can see the construction plan of this block. It is a little unlucky that the block myMacro is in the folder of the RT task. It probably is not quite correct as this block is not implemented in the task itself. If I now go into the block of the real-time kernel, I can see that the min-max block and the macro block of the startup is implemented, but there is no myMacro. That means that the programming system would not create the block myMacro, and it would also not implement the blocks AND and OR on the controller. I will now show you that when going from edit into run mode, new instances are created. When switching from edit into run mode, you see that the coordinates and the function block library vanishes. In this mode, you cannot change the structure of the function blocks anymore. That means that you cannot change the class of the block anymore. As you can see, the project tree changed as well. There's also no image of a block above the project tree, and in the upper part of the project tree, you will recognize that there is no configuration for the root called main. However, that is the configuration. This is a block of the type RT task. This is the program block for the real-time kernel. When clicking on it, there is a block of the type startup on the worksheet. Inside that block, you can find a macro block called setInfo. Those are the blocks that are existing. Although there is a construction plan of myMacro in edit mode, there is no such block in run mode. So now I will change back to edit mode. I am going to change the construction plan of the program block. That means to change the class of the program block. So at this place, I will implement the macro block of the type myMacro. In this case, I have implemented the call for the block myMacro in the construction plan of the program block. I will now change into run mode to look at the results. I can see that an instance myMacro was created here in the program block. That is what a construction plan of myMacro says. It demands the system to create an instance of the block AND and an instance of the block OR. I will now change back to edit mode. I'm creating one more call of the block type myMacro. You can see that nothing has changed in the project tree. However, there is still a block myMacro. I have now implemented two calls of this type on the worksheet. I will change back into run mode. You can see that there are two of these blocks in this level. I'll change back into edit mode. I'm editing the construction plan for this macro and insert one more block here, a NOT block. I'll adjust the signal line and link the NOT block to the output. I've now changed the construction plan of the block my macro. This construction plan only exists once, and I have made the change only once. I will switch to run mode and look at the two macro blocks. Here I can see that the NOT block has been created in both instances. Although I only implemented the NOT block into the construction plan once, 2 instances have been generated. It is even clearer when implementing one more input pin. To do so, I will increase the amount of inputs at the OR block and connect the 2 blocks. Now I will change to the program block. I can see here that each block has 4 inputs. That this construction plan has to change the construction of the blocks on this level. In run mode, you can see that both elements have changed. Now to make it clear, I will assign the instance names 1 and 2. Up here you can see on which instance we are. You see that both instances got this additional input. Another way to see that we are dealing with instances or blocks is because the signal lines have been assigned memory. Here at instance 1, the signal line has been assigned memory M1.6. This description has historical background. It comes from the PLC word. It is how flags or binary files are called. Instance 2, on the other hand, has been assigned the memory M2.1. In the construction plan of the My Macro block, no memory call exists for such signal lines yet. In the construction plan, there is only the command after implementing a call. Please get memory from the programming system for this signal line. I really hope that I could illustrate the 2 modes, edit mode and run mode, and you can understand more detailed what classes and instances mean in test.con. Thank you for your attention, and I hope I will welcome you again in our next video.